Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, episode 5, the halfway point of Uncaged. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me, as always, is my boy, DC, the one and only Daniel Crimmins. Daniel, are you ready to continue talking about WrestleMania 36, Part 2, Night 10?
We are ready, and you know what? We are going to kick it off with a pre-show match of sorts where Liv Morgan took on Natalya.
Okay, so here's what I remember about this. Looking it back and watching it. So Liv Morgan had just come off of the Riot Squad, which was her, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riot. Ruby Riot had turned on Liv, so Liv went on her own. Then Liv would be involved in that god-awful wedding with Bobby Lashley and Lana, as apparently Liv Morgan and Lana were got it on. HLA, hot lesbian action. And Liv Morgan had started to branch out on her own. Folks, this is a different Liv Morgan than what we have now with her and Dirty Dom in the Judgment Day. Liv was really starting to find her own as a singles competitor, and this matchup with Natalya was very basic. It was very short, and Liv Morgan got Natalya with a roll-up for the 1-2-3. What were your thoughts on Liv Morgan's trajectory from the Riot Squad here to this matchup with Natalya?
I think it was one of those things like everyone, even in the Riot Squad days, even if you go back before that, people saw something special in her.
Well, yeah, she used to come out with the tongue that was like the Jolly Rancher with the tongue, and she had different bright outfits in pink. Like, she stood out of the three of them.
Yeah. Ruby Riot, Ruby Soho, whatever you want to call her, I think she's training to come back, I think.
I think so, man, after giving birth with Big Ange there, like Angelo Parker and everything. I'm really happy for them.
Yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
well, she needs to come back just because I think you can agree with me on her part. Like, she needs a good resurgence for that AEW women's division.
Because they need it.
Oh, dude, perfect first feud is her and Toni Storm. Go back to the Outcast.
Yeah, give them something to do. I don't think Sarah Logan, aka Valhalla. I don't think she's coming back.
No, I think she's just like, I'm gonna be a mom. I'm just gonna enjoy being a mom
and being a farmer.
Yes, but how do you go with Liv Morgan before we even get into main card? How do we go from, and mind you, folks, like right after this, very shortly, like remember they brought the Riot Squad back for a short time and they were feuding with the Iconics, and then Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, iconic. Then Billy Kay and Peyton Royce broke up, and then Billy Kay tried to become a member of the Riot Squad, and she was dressing like them and whatnot. For a small time, it was funny. And then both her and Peyton Royce would get released. Peyton Royce, they could have done something with her.
They could have done something with both of them.
She was funny. Billy Kay was funny. Peyton Royce had a chance to really become a singles heel, but nothing. Nothing at all.
Well, I mean, that was one of those things, they cut everybody. Like I remember when that happened, like this person got cut, that person got cut, and I remember like getting like the Twitter notifications. It was just like ping, 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 ping. You're just like, who's gonna come next?
I mean, you get rid of like Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, you get rid of all these people, and it's just like, first of all, everybody's pissed because it's like a lot of these people are stuck at home, people are out of work, and there's no everybody's losing their jobs, and you just want to fire everybody. But it's like, well, it's a part of business, they do the mass releases, but still, like, people are
all because Vince had to pay hush money, and let's be real, that's what this was.
It was the hush money. But yeah, I mean, I think from what you got to see here from the start of night 2 with this pre-show, did you like Liv Morgan? Yes. Did you like Liv Morgan and Natalya, or you just thought it was whatever?
I enjoyed it. Like, I remember wanting more of it.
I remember thinking, okay, Liv's really coming to her own. Again, she's always been a good wrestler, but you can see she's starting to work hard. Like, there's something here than to what we have now. But, I mean, Natalya was just there. And when you think of Natalya, who's a better person to work with than someone who's a veteran like her? My goodness.
I will say this. Natalya is one of the most underrated people they have.
Mm-hmm.
She has been doing this 15 years in that company.
Yeah.
And she is just that insanely talented.
And I mean, she's fine with the role she has now. She's going against Mayu Iwatani at Bloodsport. Do you like the fact that we're in a tag team now with her and Maxine Dupree?
I like it.
And
Now,
Maxine's a great baby.
are they going to let it ride, or are they going to, turn Natalya heel?
So they teased it on SmackDown this week where Maxine was trying to do the sharpshooter and Natalya was pissed. It's like, we could have won if you would have tagged me. So it's one of those things where she's trying to win Natalya's approval. And we know in real life she's been training with at the Heart Dungeon and really learning more Maxine. So you have good for absolutely. So you have the perfect baby face of Maxine trying to prove to the veteran, like, hey, I'm serious about this. Let's be a team. And I think we can be a great team. So if I was to give Natalya one more run, I would love to see her and Maxine as the women's tag champs down the line.
Absolutely. Like, to briefly mention this, and, we'll mention this on our next show, the Weekly Roundup, Weekly Review, TWR, the show of many names. Folks, if you are not subscribed to it, you should be.
You should. It's on the channel, S&M Network shows, cheap plug.
Had to do the cheap pop, Mick Foley. And I don't know, that whole women's gauntlet match, I kept hoping lights are gonna go out. The lights are gonna go out. Gonna get the Wyatt Six. Gonna get Alexa and Nikki Cross.
I mean, am I okay with Bayley and Lyra Valkyria? Yeah, I'm okay with it.
And then I thought, oh well, maybe we would get the Secret Service, which.
The Secret
goes from being a witch.
Yep, Secret Service. I mean, for her, I'm happy because she gets to work with one of her best friends in Piper Niven. So, I mean, you have her involved. The Secret Service is funny. Would I've loved to see her against Liv and Raquel? That would have been great because of the entertainment part. But Bayley and Lyra, can they coexist? I mean, it's the makeshift team, but they have respect for each other. Bayley still wants another shot at the women's Intercontinental title, so let's see if they coexist going into Mania. It's going to be really good. I mean, they've all had interactions with each other. So, but yeah, there was a part of me too that wanted Alexa and Nikki to come out.
And then the more I think about it, is like, why are they doing that? Why would they bring them back before Mania? If anything, that's going to be like post Mania.
Well, that's why everybody was bitching. That's why I'm like, you do realize we have to save everything for the night after WrestleMania to get all these people coming back too. Like, there needs to be something for the Raw after WrestleMania. And everybody's already...
Yeah, people are not happy.
Well, they're already pissed because, first and foremost, I will say this. The man's from Las Vegas, even if you think about it now. And if you want to have a safe bet because they have history from the Bloodline feud, Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa is not going to bug me, but is it a safe bet? Yes, but there's also, I'm just like, okay.
I don't know if they're doing that, though.
I would love to see Nick Aldis just come out of retirement like we saw that promo was on SmackDown.
They teased it.
They did. Like, you can't have them say, like, Mickey James and whatnot without doing this. Like, come on now.
I mean, you got a couple options. Option number one, you got Solo.
Yep.
You got Aldis.
Yep.
I would say Rey Fenix, but they're not going to toss him in just to get defeated.
Nah, it looks like he's going into a feud now with Santos Escobar, which makes sense.
And you also have two new signings.
Yep, Aleister Black and Rusev.
If it's Rusev, can they please have him come back out on the tank?
That'd be cool. For me, though...
Like, everyone always talks about HBK's entrance from Mania 12. No,
WrestleMania 30.
You come out on a freaking tank? No, there's nobody's topping that, ever.
I think for me, too, I would like that. But, dude, with the vignettes that they've been showing, I would love it to be Aleister Black.
Yeah. I just hope they give him his original WWE theme.
And to be good to the evil. Oh. Yeah, well, we'll get to Aleister Black here in a second. So we get to the main card, and we start off angry. It was a good match, but we start off angry. They would have a better matchup a few years later in 2023 at that WrestleMania. But we got this. Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. Charlotte would win the Royal Rumble this year, lastly eliminating Shayna Baszler. Charlotte's looking for an opponent. Who do I choose? Do I choose Becky? Do I choose Bayley? And then Rhea Ripley comes out and says, you know what? How about you choose me? I want you to face me at WrestleMania. The NXT Women's Championship had never been defended at WrestleMania. This would be the first time
NXT title had.
No NXT title had. And then Charlotte's like, okay, will do it. The infamous promo on NXT with Bianca Belair, "You don't go here," and Charlotte and Rhea just doing this. That comes to my mind. But I'm just like, this was really something special for the NXT title, the Royal Rumble winner, to go after the NXT Women's Championship. And before we get into the match, your thoughts on this being announced?
I loved it. Like I have been sick as long as we've known each other. I have been a Rhea Ripley fan.
Oh, dude, I've been a fan since the Mae Young Classic and NXT UK days.
And I thought, this was a huge opportunity for NXT. I thought, okay, give NXT some love. And I had hoped that Rhea was going to go over. I thought it would have made her look super strong. Charlotte did not need the win.
No, and I think what killed me about it too is, I don't know if this, like, they did a video package of Rhea Ripley sitting at the stadium that they were going to be in, Tampa, and she's crying like, "This is my first WrestleMania. My family's going to be here." And like, this is a big moment because, again, first WrestleMania. And I think for me, the bigger payoff and moment, like you mentioned, Rhea winning this, really making a star out of Rhea Ripley. She had just come to NXT. She just beat Shayna Baszler for the title, and this would just be another notch for her to beat Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that is not what happened.
No. I mean, long term, it worked out good for her,
I mean, she didn't go, to the main roster like a year later, right? In 2021?
Yeah, not too long after.
Yeah, but this was Rhea's introduction at WrestleMania. So the match started off with, pretty much, it was Rhea and Charlotte going back and forth. Charlotte worked over that leg throughout the matchup. It was very standard and traditional, but again, what we would see 3 years later at WrestleMania compared to this one is just bears comparison. But for what they did here, it was solid. And then we saw the finish with Charlotte Flair hitting Rhea with the figure 4 leg lock for the second time after Rhea countered, and then made her tappy tap tap for the submission victory. And behold, Charlotte Flair is now a 2-time NXT Women's Champion. The match was fine. It was solid, but it could have been more to it. Wrong outcome. Still pisses me off to this day, but then Charlotte, when you lose it 2 months later at NXT TakeOver in your house to Io Shirai, and then Charlotte would go back to the main roster, and remember her and Asuka became the Raw Tag Team Champions for a little bit, so yeah. So Charlotte would be
and I think Charlotte got hurt again.
I think she might have. That sounds familiar. I think so. I can't remember, but yeah. I remember
I feel like she dropped it because I remember it was Charlotte versus Io versus Rhea, and everyone thought, oh, they're just putting Io in just so Rhea can get it back. Nope. I mean, they do it all the time. And then it's like Io wins. You're just like,
what? Okay.
Like, I forget who Io lost it to after that.
Raquel Rodriguez.
Oh, that's right. And Raquel didn't have it long either.
No, then she lost it to, I think that was when she lost to Mandy Rose. If I remember correctly, I think it was Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose.
Something like that. That sounds right.
Yeah, but the thing, too, with me is it's like, it made me laugh because I remember, okay, Charlotte's a heel. She beats Rhea. Then 2 months later, she loses in the triple threat with Io. And then she's teaming with Asuka. And then I'm like, she went from heel to babyface within like 4 months.
And no explanation.
And no explanation when she's a babyface.
Charlotte Flair has heel face turns like Big Show did.
I agree wholeheartedly. And that's why you and I were
talking. At least he didn't start crying randomly.
Oh, God. The thing is, you and I have talked about this. We even talked about before the show. Like, before the show, we were talking about, it's like, I don't understand how, like, she's so befuddled that she's getting booed. It's like, you win the Royal Rumble, but the video packages of you on the yacht, and you're supposed to be coming back from this injury and you're babyface, but showing yourself on the yacht and just, like, drinking champagne, you're a heel. That's an instant heel to me.
I get it. Like, they're trying to kind of make her, like, a female Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And, that's fine, but the average person doesn't have a yacht.
The average person doesn't always drink champagne all the damn time.
If you wanted her to come back as a face, I would have had it where you show her training in the gym. Splice in images of her getting surgery, of her getting injured. Show that. Show her getting emotional, saying, I didn't know if I was going to be able to come back.
I like your idea, but the thing too is they were thinking her as a babyface and Tiffy as a heel, but Tiffany Stratton got over like Rover, and it's like she is one of the hottest things right now. And then the promo happened with her and Charlotte on SmackDown, which went to hell in a handbasket. And I
I
mean,
love
I loved it too, but they went completely off script.
it. From what I heard, Charlotte's the one that's getting in trouble over it.
Well, yeah, because Kaiser's in my DMs, which no, the fuck he's not. Like, stop it.
Like,
And
okay, yeah.
Look, I don't. This is not body shaming or saying Charlotte's unattractive. Excuse me, not Scarlett Bordeaux, the one who's with Karrion Kross. Charlotte Flair is not unattractive, but with what she's had done, and you can tell she's had some work.
Don't come for him, Karrion.
So the thing too is when you look at Charlotte Flair now, and one of my friends said this, and I'll include you in this as well. You can tell she's had work done. But the problem, and that's not that. I mean, you can tell it's very obvious, and I'm not trying to shame the girl, but you can tell she's got work done. And if I was to choose Tiffany Stratton or Charlotte Flair, I'm choosing Tiffany Stratton.
See, I looked. So ultimately, Tiffany is somebody that, as a fan, they look at it like, okay, she has worked her ass off, worked up from the ground from NXT. She didn't have a famous daddy.
Well, also at the same time, too, she's only been in the business for like 2 years, and she's killed it.
And she's earned it. Like,
she's worked hard.
Like, people, the image of her, what we see on TV, that's not her. Like, that's her character. Like, she is the exact opposite.
She's very humble, and she's really willing to learn and adapt and grow, and that's the beautiful part of her.
And she's dating Kaiser, who is an insanely talented guy. And you can't tell me he isn't helping her.
Well, also he helped Walter get into the shape that he's in, so I mean, hell, hey now.
Yeah, Gunther,
thank you. But no, I think
don't slap him, Gunther.
Thank you. So this matchup here, I will say that.
But just to finish that point up, you're now also hearing negative stories about Charlotte coming out. And I think if I'm them, I'm thinking long term, how many injuries has she had in the past couple years?
The leg injury, the shoulder injury.
A lot. So, and supposedly she's removed herself from the locker room, which I hope that's not true.
I hope not either. I mean, like, I've seen the same reports, but I also look at it like this. It's going to be a good match, but you need Tiffany Stratton to get that win. Like, you need her to get...
And it needs to be clean.
Yes. And I think with this, I equate it to what we're talking about with Rhea. Like, we saw it 3 years later, which would be in Mommy's 1 year reign with the title and plus. But for you, did you like this match watching it back compared to what we've seen when we first watched it?
Looking back at it and watching it with fresh eyes, I still don't like it.
No.
But I get it.
I get it too.
Like, long term, it worked out. Because when they had that match, and that was Mania 39, right?
39, 3 years later, yep.
We had that story. We had Rhea wanting that redemption.
Yes, after she had won the Royal Rumble herself.
Needing it. Knowing that she had to get that win back.
And that fit the story perfectly, which I'm in agreement with you. Because
she finished the story.
I see what you did there, fine sir. But yes, no, I think if you want to watch this match back, I will say, folks, go back out of your way and watch it because it leads to what we would get 3 years later. But yeah, this was a solid way to start the show, an angry way. But the next match that we get to finish this, go on with the show, we mentioned him coming back with those promos. It is Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Randomly, this match literally was announced like last minute, and we were all like, Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Like what?
I don't think there was any build-up, if I'm not mistaken.
You cut a promo, and it's like, so Aleister Black, what are your thoughts on, you against Bobby Lashley? And he's just like, I'm going to beat him. And you could tell he's just like, yeah, we just got added to the card last minute. Bobby Lashley had just turned heel, and he was feuding with Rusev, and like we mentioned, the Lana wedding, which I try to forget, and that pairing of him and Lana. And I just remember Randy Orton and Baron Corbin laughing after Bobby Lashley kissed Lana, and Lana was having an affair with Bobby Lashley. And it was bad. Like, this whole storyline with Bobby Lashley and Lana was just so bad.
And Lashley and Lana have, done interviews where they both talked about neither one of them was comfortable with it. Like,
because she's really married to Rusev at the time, and he's like, I don't want to do this shit.
And Lashley is a decent and honorable man, and he said, he really did not want to do it, especially the vignette where they were in the hotel room.
Oh God, and they're supposed to be getting it on in the bed, yeah. Oh,
like he didn't want to do that because he's got kids, and he's got kids.
He's got kids, damn it. But the thing too is, like you mentioned, like but he even said like he got more comfortable, like because Lana made him more comfortable. But you could tell like he was out of his element, and this is him coming off the Lio Rush pairing, Lashley, and yeah, just like we went with the Lana route, and then we get into a match with Aleister Black out of the blue. And I will say this about this match: it was fine for what it was. They both, like I said, for me, it was another back and forth. And then Lashley goes for the spear, and then Aleister Black hits the Black Mass with a 1-2-3. And that was Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Watching this back 5 years later, did you enjoy this match?
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, it
was there.
It was fine. Like, it was one of those matches where it's like, yeah,
all right. I mean, they were building up Aleister Black, so
it's like when you have McDonald's or any kind of fast food. It's like, it's there.
Yeah, that's
not great. But
it wasn't terrible, but it was there. But yeah, so we go from Aleister Black.
I do feel like this is one of those ones where, again, they had these guys here. They needed to fill time,
and here we are.
And we got this. He'll do.
Go ahead, Aleister.
There's always one match in every single Mania that is just randomly on the card.
Agreed, wholeheartedly.
And this was that one.
This absolutely was that one. It's like, what was the WrestleMania? I mean, we'll go like this. Edge and Booker T, the Japanese shampoo commercial. And Booker T even said this recently. It's like, do you guys want to fight for like the Japanese commercial? Or it's like, do you guys just want to fight just out of nowhere? And it goes, we'll take the Japanese commercial. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Booker even said in a recent interview, it wasn't supposed to be for a Japanese commercial. They were supposed to be fighting for some... It was supposed to be one of them was going to get their head shaved. So this is before the Kurt Angle match, and Booker's like, I'm not losing my locks. So we'll go with the Japanese commercial. And I got to say, I think that's better than doing Edge and Booker T in a random-ass hair versus hair match.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, random matches at WrestleMania aside, we did have a match that did have some story, and it's the lovable loser, Otis.
Otis. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tucky. With Sonya Deville against Dolph Ziggler. This storyline did not need to be as good as it was. So
it shouldn't have been.
It shouldn't have been. Otis and helping Mandy Rose. There's a love thing there, but Sonya's like, no, Dolph Ziggler's more your type. Otis gets stood up at dinner, and just Dolph Ziggler and Mandy Rose. Sonya's like, you guys need to be together. You're a perfect fit. And the fact of the matter is, Sonya's been texting like from Mandy's phone about Otis meeting him there, and then there's a no-show. So she's given him giving her ways of just like, hey, go with him, steering her in the right direction. And then the SmackDown hacker, who would later go on to be Mustafa Ali, and we knew it was Mustafa Ali, but remember the SmackDown hacker at the time showed the footage of Sonya texting from Mandy's phone, and Mandy's pissed.
Didn't that lead to retribution or whatever that was?
And the best part about it is Mustafa Ali was like, in the whole promo of why he joined Retribution and was the leader, was like, hey, remember when the SmackDown hacker was on SmackDown? Oh, yeah, that was me. That's how they explained it. And the promo was just like, yeah, remember the SmackDown hacker? That was me.
See, Retribution could have been so much better.
But Vince had no idea what to do with it.
Like, I think he was trying to turn it into like some Antifa, like, no.
God, it was bad. But yeah, no, it only lasted like a few months after that, and then that was the end of Retribution.
E-Bar.
fucking T-Bar and Slapjack and Mace and friggin' Mia Yim as what was she? Oh God, it was she was Reckoning. There you go.
Who was T-Bar? I'm trying to remember.
That was Dijak.
Or what was Shane Thorne? Wasn't he in that?
Yeah, he was Slapjack.
Well, I remember when there were like fucking 50 of them.
So it was originally T-Bar, Dijak, Mace,
Mace,
friggin' Dio Madden. It was Slapjack.
After Brock beat the shit out of him.
And F5'd him through the table. You had Shane Thorne, who was Slapjack. You had, of course, Mustafa Ali. You had Mia Yim as Reckoning, Michin. And for the brief time before they put her back in NXT, you had Mercedes Martinez as Retaliation. Remember that?
Yeah.
And Mercedes Martinez was like, I don't want to do this. Put me back in NXT. And they put her back in NXT very shortly after that.
And she would end up getting released not long after.
Not long after that.
And now she's
on Ring of Honor. Yeah.
How you?
Okay, you stay with me, Mercedes. I love you, but we got another Mercedes, so you can go fuck yourself. So we had Otis and
enjoy the catering.
Enjoy the catering. It's delicious. Yeah.
I do wonder how good their catering is.
Oh God, you're gonna. What are you getting the munchies over here, Daniel Crimmins?
Well, I've heard stories like WWE's catering it, like they get it like professionally done, and
well, yeah, get like steak, like high course meals, man.
Like I would love to be like a guest host or something. Just go to catering. Like,
just go to catering.
I would hang around in catering all day. But
I agree.
Hang out with
Otis, and Otis had this match, man. So it was a great build, and these two went at it. Not a bad match at all. Sonya tried to distract the referee after Otis hit the caterpillar on Ziggler, and then Mandy Rose came out and absolutely mollywopped friggin' Sonya Deville. And then afterwards, we would see Otis hit the caterpillar on Ziggler after a low blow from Otis to Ziggler. After Ziggler would low blow Otis. And then the 1, 2, 3. Otis gets the win. He gets the girl. And then he kisses Mandy Rose on the lips. His peach. Yeah, Tucky. My peach, yeah. Oh, God. It was so good. The lovable loser Otis.
Otis was over as shit. Still is.
Very much so.
He's one of those guys where they could be doing so much more with him.
I mean, they have, and even in the comedy character with him, Tozawa and Maxine, like they still get cheered heavily.
Like, put the titles on him and Tozawa.
I mean, I think they definitely need to get a run like down the line. I think it'll happen.
You know, do something with him. Hell, have him go to NXT. NXT needs help in their tag division.
Their tag division, I mean, it's I mean, you got Nathan Fraser and Axiom. They just took on. Well, they took on Swipe Right to showcase the Evolved talent, but I mean, who's next for them really to face, like, after this? Besides, like, I don't even know. Who you got going against them next? Josh Woods and friggin' I forgot the Japanese guy's name, but that guy from Noah. I mean, you have so many tag teams, but you need a little bit more because they're going
to have the calling, you know.
Oh, yeah. What's his face? Brooks Jensen and Nico Vance. Okay. But the problem is, it's like, how many times are we going to see like a lot of the same matches? Because you've seen them; they face like everybody in the tag division down there.
Maybe bring in the Hardys again.
I mean, they did beat them with the TNA tag titles on the line, so I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see where they go. But as far as this match goes, man, Otis getting the win, right call, and then this would lead to him and Mandy being a thing, and of course, Otis would then win the Money in the Bank, and then
the most odd finish. It was Corbin and who else was it?
It was Corbin and him and Rey Mysterio, who he chucked off the friggin'.
Well, I mean, on the ladder, like who?
It was him and Corbin and Asuka, because Asuka would win the women, and then Otis would win the.
Well, there's somebody else on the ladder with Corbin trying to get the men's briefcase.
Was it Daniel Bryan or AJ Styles? I think it was AJ Styles.
Something like that, and then it just fell.
And then
Otis has it, and
he
rings like
he won. And then it went to shit because Otis lost his Money in the Bank to the Miz after Tucker turned on Otis, which made no sense.
And he lost Peach.
And then he lost his peach. And then Mandy would wound up got it. Remember friggin' Sonya shaved her head for a little bit? Like she had the short haircut for a little bit. And then, yeah, he lost the peach. Mandy would go to feud with Sonya. Tucky would get released, have a short run with the 24/7 title. And then he would go on to be with Chad Gable, which would start the Alpha Academy. So, I mean, that worked for Otis.
But they could have done so much more. Like, Miz would get the briefcase, have it for like a week, 2 weeks,
and then lose it to
Bobby Drew, and then would lose to Bobby in like 2 minutes.
It was a squash. And then Miz would go on to, of course, feud. Well, they were supposed to do like a thing with him and Morrison because he was like faking that injury for like after he was originally healed. And then nothing came out of that because John Morrison would get released
again.
But yeah, this is a tough times during the COVID era. But I have to ask you, we went through the first 2 matches and we talked about Otis's rise and fall. What were your thoughts on this match and Otis getting the girl?
You know, was it a great, classic medium? No. But for a storytelling match, it
worked. It was great.
It worked. I think this was one of those matches would have been better in front of a crowd.
I agree, because the cheer he would get when he would kiss Mandy Rose would be off the chain.
And when Mandy, when the music hit and she came running down,
beat the crap out of Sonya, yeah.
And I think she kicked Ziggler in the dong.
She did. She hit him in the dong. Otis hit him in the dong. There's a lot of dong hittage.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah! Speaking of oh yeah, we go into our next match, or should we say, oh no? It is Edge who has made his WrestleMania return after 9 long years, his first match back, against Randy Orton in the last man standing match that, wait for it, folks, it legit went 36 minutes and 55 seconds.
The longest match of the entire Mania, both nights.
This match was long and plotting. I actually remember, it's funny, I was in the chat with Robert and Nicola, shout out to Robert and Nicola, and I was even talking to you, because remember you and I were messaging back and forth?
Yeah, what is this?
Like, what is this? Robert and Nicola were just like, they're still going. Like, and Nicola's like, for the love of God, can they end this? And then you and I were like, they're still going. Like, they're still going. Like, they're not going to end this. Like, literally, this match went about 10, 15 minutes longer than it should have. I would have been like, okay, 25 minutes, go. Like, this went longer than it should have. Like, for real. Let's put that into perspective before we even dive into it. Like, this match was too fucking long.
And it didn't need to be that long.
Like, I mean, I get the feud. Edge returns in the Rumble. Great moment. The emotion was there. There was the tease of Rated RKO coming back, and then Randy would take him out. And then he RKOs Beth Phoenix. And then that leads to this. And I mean, I get it, but it didn't need to go that long. And then, of course, after this would be the greatest match ever. This is the greatest show. Well, what was worse, this or that match?
It's tied.
It is very much tied. Yeah, that
actually, what was better was the recent finish of Mox versus Swerve.
Oh man, you see, that's up
my
there.
Thoughts on that. Please check out Kicking It with the Boys in the TSK and our review of AEW Dynasty. Cheap plug number 2.
That link will be in the description. But yeah, no, I think. All right, what's worse if you had to choose Edge and Orton here and the greatest match ever, or the one with Swerve that we just saw at Dynasty? What was worse? Or Moxley and Cope, which was worse?
I would rather never watch wrestling again than to pick a winner.
Oh, okay. All right, well, we'll go with Cope strictly. Which was better, this and Orton or Mox and Cope?
Again, I would rather never watch wrestling again than to pick a winner.
I love you so much, Daniel. So we get into the match. Randy Orton just comes out as a cameraman, and he literally attacks Edge out of nowhere. And then we just get a brawl throughout the Performance Center. There was a weight used. There was just punches and strikes and the attack again all over the Performance Center. There was a barricade on a raised platform.
If you also can recall, there was a spot.
Which one?
Where there was gym equipment.
Yeah.
And Edge wrapped a cord around Orton's neck Or maybe it was the other way around. I don't really remember.
I remember the weight. I don't remember the core. Go ahead.
Do we not remember that one guy, the guy whose name we're not supposed to talk about?
Yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about that spot until you just mentioned it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think you even said to me, you're like, what the hell are they doing?
Like, does anybody not remember, Chris
Hello?
Benoit?
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, and I remember even talking to Robert Davis, is like, ooh, we both had that same reaction, like, ooh. No.
So that happens. They're fighting through the gym area. Then they fight to the back. And then we're at the, it's a brawl through the performance center.
Offices.
Not Rick Rock and Mankind level, but they fought through the offices. Then we get to the production truck, and they're on the friggin' production truck, and then Edge hits a spear, and then Orton hits an RKO on him on the production truck, and they're fighting, and then he puts him in the sleeper, and then he's conflicted because he doesn't want to do it because Randy Orton is his best friend, but he also RKO'd his wife, and this thing's got to this point, and remember he took forever. He's just holding it, and he's got that face. I'm like, would you just hit him already? Like,
yeah, hit him.
Just hit him already. So there's the delayed, then there's the concerto, and then the 10 count. Edge wins. Too fucking long. Did you like the match at all, or you were just thinking, like, can we end it already?
36 minutes, like, it easily, you could have shaved off 20 minutes.
Yeah, because it was just, I felt bored. Did you feel bored watching this?
This was a pee break match and to go get a snack.
My thing is, too, I get it, it's Edge's return after 9 years, but a 36-minute match does not suffice for me. It doesn't.
And maybe it would have been better, again, with the crowd.
But yeah, without the crowd, it was dookie.
It was a drizzling shits.
It was absolutely the drizzling shits. So we go
It was a rough night after some Taco Bell.
Oh, okay. Now, see, you're going to put me on the spot here because I do love me some Taco Bell.
I do too. My stomach doesn't love it.
Okay. Is this like when you're craving Taco Bell at like 3 a.m. and you see the drive-thru is packed, but you're like, I have to have me some Taco Bell at 3 o'clock in the morning?
I gots to have it.
Gots to have it. Thank you, Viscera. God rest his soul. Is that what it's like? Because that's what it's like to me. Like, because I remember growing up on Long Island, like the Taco Bell 3 a.m, the cars outside the driveway, and everybody's got to get the Taco Bell. Is that what it's like for you, Daniel?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, for those who want to think,
like going to Denny's at like 2 a.m, plastered. Not that I've ever done that. Not that I've ever done that.
I've ever done that. You're not going to plead yourself to the fact that you got drunk at Denny's at 2 o'clock in the morning.
You don't get drunk at Denny's. You get drunk before Denny's, and you go to Denny's.
Yes. Or is it the Waffle House for you? Are you more Denny's or more Waffle House?
See, we don't have a Waffle House around here.
That is very much true. Okay, when you've been down south, have you had the Waffle House?
No, I do not have a Waffle House order.
Look, I know that's Malcolm's gimmick. I understand. Malcolm. I mean, he was doing what she said. Just ask a ridiculous question, and I know that's his thing that he asked about Waffle House orders. But people got ranted on him and got at him for that question at a press conference.
It's what he does.
Like, this is his gimmick. It's what he does. Like, I wasn't offended by that. I was not.
She wasn't either.
She was laughing. Like, Malcolm. Oh, Malcolm.
Tony Khan himself was laughing at it.
It was funny. Like, it was good. It was entertainment, people. And also, this is Tony's media scrums. Like, there's going to be comedy because nobody will ask Tony the hard-hitting questions because Tony likes the softball questions. Malcolm. But
like I said, I could literally watch a whole pay-per-view of just Tony Storm. Like, literally, remember, was it Mania 33? The one that didn't end until like 1 a.m?
Yeah,
that was Taker and Roman.
Yeah, that was the Taker.
How long that show was?
Yes.
Yeah, I could that whole time frame. I could watch that amount of time, nothing but Tony Storm.
I'd be right there with you.
Have her just sit in the middle of the ring and just
stay there. I'm right there with you, dude. Now, coming off of Edge and Orton, we're disgusted. We're just like, God, this was too long. And then we get a comedy spot. So Mojo Rawley, who had won the 24/7 title the night before, he's running away from the wrestlers, as you do, with the 24/7 title. So he's at the podium. Rob Gronkowski was standing on the podium, and he does the infamous dive on top to the wrestlers and everybody who's there. Like, I don't even know who was there. I think it was Truth. It was Cedric. It was whoever they had at the PC at the time for the 24/7 title. Rob Gronkowski does the dive. He pins Mojo, and Gronk is the new 24/7 champion. That infamous dive that Vince McMahon took himself to show Rob Gronkowski that he'd be fine.
Now, I would have done it.
Me too. Like, for that, it was like a cool spot. It was a cool moment. He took the spot off the podium. Did you like Gronk winning the 24/7 title here?
I did. And, it was because Gronk's a Buffalo guy. And it was supposed to lead to Gronk he had signed.
He did, yeah. And he did like a couple things with R-Truth, the 24/7 title stuff.
Yep. He was supposed to be a WWE superstar. But about a month later, he signs with Tampa Bay.
Yep.
And he only did the WWE shit so he could get out of New England.
That's right. You're correct on that. That's right. So he would sign with Tampa. He would sign with Tampa Bay.
Sure, we got Josh Allen now. He's like 10 million times better.
I know. Fuck you, fucking Patriots. Fucking pieces of shit. Tom Brady. God damn it. So
Guarantee Tom Brady's a Tony Khan fan. Well, actually, no. Jaguars. Sign with my football team. We need you.
I can't laugh. I'm sorry. Like that team is such dog shit, and I hate to say that about the Jaguars. But one of the reasons I don't like the Jaguars is because of the cons. Not Shad, the other one. Shad, you're okay.
Tony? I do like Shad Khan's mustache. He's got a nice mustache.
He does. So mustache is a sign. Well, at least it's not like Eli Cottonwood. You know what? Thing about a mustache, I don't have a mustache. Freaking that awful, god awful, bro. Look at Eli Cottonwood in the mustache.
Who was originally in the Wyatt family?
Yes, he was. Now, could you imagine him being in that spot instead of Luke Harper?
No.
Oh, God.
Except, I think Eli Cottonwood actually was from the South.
Yes, he was. That's right. That's why it made sense, because he was from the South. But, folks, if you've ever seen Eli Cottonwood, he was so green. He was awkward. He couldn't talk. He was god-awful. He was so bad.
I don't even think he's still wrestling.
No, he's out of the business completely. I don't know what he's doing now, but I know he left the business. Oh, Eli Cottonwood. So we go from the comedy spot after Edge and Orton to the tag title match, which was the Street Profits defending the Raw tag titles against Angel Garza and Austin Theory, filling in for Andrade, being accompanied by Zelina Vega. We mentioned this in our first part of this, Daniel, which go back and watch, ladies and gentlemen. Cheap plug. I will give the cheap plug this time, good sir. And so Austin Theory, who had just signed with WWE, came from Evolve. He did some matches on NXT, and they needed somebody, so we got Austin Theory involved in this. Like we mentioned, he was not ready. Did you like the fact that they tried to do something different because Andrade couldn't be there? And did you like Austin Theory being a part of Zelina Vega's little thing here?
I think, and I kind of felt bad for him because it's like, I think it was like who do we have that is willing to do it?
Yep.
And I think they went to Austin Theory and were like, hey, can you help? Can you do us a solid here?
He's like, okay, WrestleMania, let's go. But he was so green. Like, he was not ready for this. Like, the Austin Theory that we have now, the one that won Cena, the one that won the tag titles with Grayson Waller, like the one who wrestled Seth Rollins, the one who's been there.
The one that wants to yeet, but, he can't.
But he can't. The one that wrestled Bobby Lashley. Like, this Austin Theory was completely different. Before he was in the way and be in the comedy spot with Johnny Gargano, Candice, and Indy Hartwell. This was just Austin Theory, fresh out of Evolve, and we signed this new guy who's young, and he has a good look. So he fills in for Andrade, and then we get this tag title match. Very, very forgettable. It was okay. Austin Theory would then take the pin after getting the frog splash from Montez Ford, and then Dawkins would pin him. And then, I totally forgot about this, Garza, Theory, and Vega would attack the Street Profits, and then Bianca Belair came out and attacked Vega and that would end the segment. So
And
beyond
she also said, "I go here now."
that's all right. Let's talk about this. I understand this was being with her husband Montez Ford, and then afterwards Montez Ford would be poisoned by Zelina Vega. That was okay. That was even worse. Not even this. That was even worse. The fact that we had a storyline where Zelina poisoned Montez Ford.
Attempted murder.
Attempted murder.
Which, I mean, we also had about a year's storyline of attempted vehicular manslaughter. So,
Yeah, why not? With friggin' Elias and Jeff Hardy and Sheamus and all this crap.
Oh no, I'm talking about Rikishi and that whole Stone Cold thing.
I did it for The Rock.
Let's not forget the necrophilia angle.
Katie Vick.
I'm looking at you.
Katie Vick says what?
Which, if you want to see us discuss that, check out my YouTube channel. The link is down below.
Go back and watch that episode. Cheap plug number 4 was that. We gotta do the cheap plug counter and see how many times you did cheap plugs on this show. So, was this a good? And I know there's no people, but was this a good way to call up Bianca Belair to the main roster?
Yeah, absolutely.
And her being the manager of the Street Profits. As far as the match goes, this was another one like Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley. It was there. Did you like the match or?
I did.
Okay.
I am a huge Street Profits fan. I'm so happy that they're the WWE Tag Champs now. I'm liking this more gritty side of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can do the happy-go-lucky. You can do that, but I like the seriousness of that. I like what they're doing with them.
I was always a fan of the NXT run with them against like the Viking Raiders and everybody they wrestled in NXT. I also will say this about Angel Garza, highly underrated. I love me some Angel Garza. Like
him and
Berto. Not Humberto, Berto. Angel and Berto.
That name. Call him Berto Garza.
Or you could have left Carrillo, Berto Carrillo, something.
Well, I think you want to play off the name. Like, most people don't know who the Garza family even is.
I know. Well, they tried to highlight that on NXT. Like, they talked about Hector Garza, but now they totally run against that. And it's just like, oh, they're in Legado del Fantasma.
Us folk that knew and watched WCW
know who Hector Garza
Hector Garza is.
Yes. Or even
TNA, AAA, CMLL. You know who the guy is.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about Rey Fenix and Santos. I don't know if they're going to be feuding. I'm almost wondering if they're splitting up Legado.
Well, I mean, you have Berto being taught, as you saw on SmackDown, being taught by Andrade. Like, and Berto, like, you gonna take that from Santos Escobar? Like, Andrade, give me Andrade and Berto, give me Andrade and Santos, give me Rey Fenix and Andrade, Rey Fenix and Santos. I'm curious to see where they go.
You could have the Garzas and Andrade kind of turn and kick out Santos. Like, I always thought Santos Escobar, he's got potential as a face. He was over as a face.
I mean, he was great as a heel against Rey, don't get me wrong. But when he was in NXT, that hot run when he was the Cruiserweight champion and he was a babyface for a little bit, like, it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say this match, folks, go out of your way. If you want to see something fun, it was good, and you got to see Bianca Belair made her debut. Do you think she would get the pop with the people? Because she was very popular.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, she has so much talent, and she is one of those people that the crowd loves her.
Yep.
The crowd loves her. She has that it factor, that intangible it factor that just works.
I think for me too is I've noticed this. I think you could concur with me, much like we mentioned with Rhea. Like, when she came into the Mae Young Classic, like, she was hot, freshly new, like hot and new. Like, nobody knew who she was. She was just one of the PC people. And for someone who had only been wrestling for like a year, like, she really stood out, man.
Oh, absolutely. And, I still say one of my favorite Mania matches, as far as women's matches, was her versus Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné,
whatever you want to call her. Yeah.
and I can still hear the sound of her whipping her hair and just seeing the marks it left. Like, it cut her open.
It was bad.
You would imagine once that adrenaline wore off,
Ow.
how much pain, Sasha Banks Mercedes was in. Like, ow.
It was rough. I mean, again, first time two African American women main eventing WrestleMania, which was awesome to see. But yeah, man, that was my thing with Bianca. Just a year later, she's involved in this. Like her meteoric rise really needs to be studied for where she was. She has worked her buns off, and I'm really looking forward to this triple threat next week at WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
So we move on from this. Speaking of women, we have the Fatal 5-Way Elimination match, and I remember this getting announced because Paige here came back and announced it.
Paige here. You gotta do the face.
Paige here, and she would come back and was she the GM still? No, she was not the GM at the time, or was she? No, because remember she was with the Kabuki Warriors. Was she like just back as GM for like the night, or I don't remember. Like, do you remember? Yeah, but I remember
I blocked a lot of that
out of your memory.
WWE out of my head.
So she would make the match just again for some reason. She would be the one to make it. So it was Bayley defending against Sasha Banks, Lacey Evans, Naomi, and Tamina. Yeah. So it was fine. Everybody did their spots. Tamina was eliminated first, of course, because everybody piled on top of her. Got to get the big girl out. Then Banks would hit the bank statement on Naomi, and that would be the end of Naomi. Then Bayley would hit moved out of the way, and Bayley attacked Sasha after she was going for the drop kick. And then Bayley would get the women's right from I'm sorry, not Bayley, I'm sorry. Sasha Banks would get the women's right from Lacey Evans for the elimination. And Bayley did not break it up in time. There was a little miscommunication there. So Lacey Evans, who's the babyface at the time, because she had transitioned from the heel with her and Ric Flair. Oh God! Her and Ric Flair
storyline that went fucking nowhere.
Because remember, it was supposed to be her and Charlotte at WrestleMania. Not this WrestleMania, but I think it was.
Yeah, I think Mania 31.
No, that was way behind that. Was that WrestleMania?
Oh, not Mania 31, like Mania
36,
37, I think.
Yes, going into the 2021 one. But then remember, it was just like, oh, I'm pregnant, but because she was really pregnant in real life, and then that went nowhere. Oh God!
Here's what you're gonna do. It's gonna be Ric Flair's kid.
And Rick was just woo, like we're supposed to imply that they had a kid together. Oh God, it was bad. And Charlotte.
No, Lacey Evans is not in the business anymore.
Well, she's doing OnlyFans with Mandy Rose. Yeah.
And also a music video with Tom McDonald.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's a thing.
Was that the dude with the, you can't cancel us?
Yeah, that's the video. It's got Scotty Too Hottie in it, I think, as well.
I liked you, Scotty. I liked you, Scotty Too Hottie. I liked him till that. You can't cancel us. What is wrong with these people? God damn it. I know. All I'm going to say is I liked you, Scotty Too Hottie. I liked you in the worm. Oh, Scotty.
I don't want to go on another rant. I am saving my vitriol, my venom for when we record with Paul. I'm going to give you a part 2
of the Tony Khan. We'll save that.
Part 1, check out Kicking It with the Boys and the TSK. Link down below.
Cheap plug. So this matchup, again, going back to the match. So Tamina's eliminated with the piling of the wrestlers. Everybody was on them, all 4 of them. Then the bank statement to Naomi. Then Sasha would be out with the women's right after the miscommunication, and Bayley accidentally dropkicked Sasha. They're apologizing. Women's right to Sasha. Bayley did not break up the pin, so Sasha took the fall, and it came down to Lacey Evans and Bayley, and Bayley would go, miss the women's right, and then Bayley would hit the backstabber, and then the rose plant, 1, 2, 3. Bailey had just come out from turning heel after the Charlotte match, because remember, towards 2019, she would turn heel, destroy the Bailey Buddies, get the new haircut. Her and Sasha were heels. They would then become the women's tag team champions. And this was just leading up to WrestleMania. Lacey Evans had turned face because they were insulting her daughter. And she didn't like bullies, but it made sense. Would I have given Lacey Evans the title here? No. I think this was a nice way to showcase Lacey Evans, but Bailey needed to win this, and she did by pinning this.
I will say, if anybody should have won this, not Bailey, Tamina.
Tamina. I mean, her and Natty got their moment. Let's put that out there, though. Her and Natty got their moment as the women's tag champs.
But Tamina is so underrated. I will say this is so underrated.
I liked her. I mean, if you want to see like a sleeper, like her and Beth Phoenix had a decent match for the Divas title at the Elimination Chamber in 2012. Like, that was underrated. Like, she could go. I mean, people used to crap on Tamina a lot, but I'm like, no, she has a presence there. She can work.
They just gave her shit.
Like, what do you want? Her and Nia were a team for a little bit, and then Tamina would become babyface, and then Nia would.
I think she did have that. She did have a feud with Bailey, I think.
Yeah, after this.
For the SmackDown Women's title, which
was good. I would have given her the title after that, but they didn't. Like, you had an opportunity.
The crowd was super behind her.
And also Bailey was the great antithesis heel to go against. But yeah, nothing. And Bailey would win this. Did you like the 5-way or?
It wasn't bad.
It was okay. I mean, it served its purpose. But yeah, that was the 5-way. I can't really say much because I was just this card, I gotta say, night 2 was not a bad card, and it had some solid moments like we're talking about. But as of right now, I will say this. Did you like night 1 better or night 2?
I think overall, I mean, all matches in, I would give a slight nod to night 1 because you don't top that Boneyard match.
I mean, well, we did have something that kind of topped it. And the reason why I say this is there was mixed feelings on this one, including if you're Jim Cornette or people that don't like the cinematic stuff. But we get to the match. Bray Wyatt and John Cena and the Firefly Funhouse.
Yowie wowie.
Yowie wowie indeed. So John Cena talking about this, it's like, well, what the hell's a Firefly Funhouse match? He goes, we don't know. And he goes, great. And him and Bray Wyatt came up with one of the most creative, genius-like matches and stories ever. And we're going to get into it. But the fact that collaboration was there, one of Cena's greatest works.
Oh, yeah.
Same with Bray Wyatt. Now,
I will make the argument that when Bray eventually goes into Hall of Fame, which I think it's inevitable, it's going to happen.
Yes.
I think Cena needs to be the one to induct him.
I would definitely agree with you on that. One of his greatest rivals. Absolutely. Speaking of people inducted, I got to ask you. So the Hall of Fame is, I mean, first of all, the fact that Kamala, that Dory Funk Sr., and who was the other one that's in the Legacy Award? It's Kamala, Dory Funk Sr., and whatever the hell the other one was. And I hate to say this. Hold on. I'm going to look it up just because.
Are they putting Kamala in?
Yes, it's the Legacy Award for the WWE Hall of Fame, and this is going to bug me, so let me see who it is. So it's Kamala, the Ugandan Giant, Dory Funk Sr., and Ivan Koloff.
Really?
Yeah.
So Dory Funk is going to be a 2-time Hall of Famer.
Yep, with him and Terry, and Ivan Koloff going in, which makes sense. Him and Bruno, just like a legendary wrestler.
Ivan's still alive, correct?
Ivan? I think so. Yeah, no. Or is it Nikita? Who's okay, and now that's gonna bug me again. Hold on. Ivan Koloff.
Everybody!
No, Ivan Koloff is the one who's dead. He died in 2017. Nikita's still alive. All right. So
one of the greatest heels of all time.
Oh, I agree. So you have 2 deceased wrestlers, and no, wait. Did Dory Funk Sr. die?
No, I think Dory's still alive. Wait, is Dory Funk Sr.?
I think it's Dory Funk Sr. All right, now this is going to bug me. Hold on.
Junior's still alive.
Yeah, Junior's still alive, I think. Hall of Fame. Dory Funk Sr. is going in. Senior.
Okay, so Daddy.
I
think he's long dead.
Oh, God. Dory Funk. So Dory Funk Sr. passed away in 1973. Dory Funk Jr., who is still alive and is at the age of 84.
Senior, yeah, I think he's been gone a couple years.
I think so. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. A Funker in there makes sense. Koloff, and of course, the Ugandan giant, John
God rest
Kamala.
his soul.
God rest his soul. So good. If you guys have never seen Kamala, he's one of the absolute best.
And though the bloopers of the interview with Gene Okerlund.
Fuck it.
Why were you late? We're doing a little fuck you.
That and fuck it and fuck. God rest his soul, me, Gene. Like, that was so funny.
Kamala was one of the greatest, like most underappreciated big guys. Like, he did that character so well.
He worked it to his advantage, and he had some of, like, him and Hulk Hogan, him and everybody that he wrestled, like, really stood apart from, like, everything that he did.
His face run was even good. I can't remember who managed him.
Was it Kimchi?
No, that was after. Because there was a bit where he feuded with Kimchi, a.k.a. the Brooklyn Brawler.
Oh, yes. But yeah, no, him and The Undertaker, like the coffin matches and everything like that, I remember stood out. But yeah, if there's anyone to get the Legacy Award, it's him. Now, a lot of people are bitching, dude. Bitching! Because, of course, we don't know who's inducting the natural disasters, but did you see who's inducting Michelle McCool?
Who?
The Undertaker. And a lot of people are like, why can't Layla do it? Because Lay cool.
It depends on who the person wants.
Yeah, and if Michelle wants her husband to induct her, Layla said she's going to be there, so I'm sure there's going to be a nice little shout out to Layla, and they can do the flawless, Lay cool stuff.
She'll probably come out with her half of the WWE Women's title.
That was still so funny. The fact that they were arguing, they broke it, and they both carried it. Oh, they were funny. And do you remember when the beautiful people took a shot at them on TNA? Yeah. You're not cool. All right, really quick before we get into this match, who was better, Lay Cool or the beautiful people, or equal?
Gotta go with the beautiful people.
Yeah, because they start...
And the theme song. That theme song was...
Angel on my shoulder. Oh, yeah. But no, I would tend to concur. I like them both. So we get into Bray Wyatt and John Cena. So I have to ask you, first and foremost, before we get into the match, when they announced that it was going to be a Firefly Funhouse match, what were your initial thoughts?
What the hell is a Firefly Funhouse match? Like, the hell is this?
And did you think that if it was in front of a crowd, it would be like no disqualification? Or you think it would have been what we got, but in a crowd setting? Or what do you think?
You know, realistically, I think it probably would have been... See, I don't know. Like, probably weapons related.
And somehow we got into like the imagination of Bray Wyatt and in his head or something of that effect. Like some supernatural stuff.
I don't know. Even
could be,
like
but
weapons inside the cell.
Like kind of like the Lethal Lockdown kind of deal. But yeah, I would have been very curious to see what this would have been with the crowd. I've always said that, and we've said this as well. But what we got, and especially the time period that we got, was absolutely amazing. So John Cena comes out, does the Welcome to WrestleMania, and then it shows WrestleMania 3. And so Bray Wyatt would come say, you're going to face your your opponent, yourself. You're going to be facing someone that, you're going to be dealing with, your best opponent, yourself. And he's going to make him look at himself. We saw, Ramblin' Rabbit. We saw Mercy the Buzzard. We saw Abby the Witch. We saw Huskus the Pig Boy. We saw everyone. And this was just a great sequence of Bray Wyatt and John Cena. John Cena goes through the door. He gets the Vince McMahon puppet, the Ruthless Aggression era stuff. Wyatt cuts the Kurt Angle promo. And then John Cena's dressed in his old 2002 gear with the tights that are so colorful. And then we get that little exchange. And then we get to the Saturday night's main event, and let's do it together. It's such good shit.
That's such good shit.
And then we have Johnny Largeman being the tag team partner of Bray Wyatt. And then he gets tired from doing the weights, and then he cuts the promo like it's the 80s. And then we get to the Wyatt family persona, talking about everything that goes into what we went to at WrestleMania 30 and talking about, you lost, cowboy, fix it, John, fix it. And then he goes to hit him with the chair, and then there's nobody there. Even before this, like when John Cena came out as the Doctor of Thugonomics era, and then he's doing the rhymes, and then Bray's like, you're a bully. He was right. Again, 5 years later, Bray Wyatt was right, calling him a bully. You only care about yourself. You're not a good person. Like, this is just perfect interpretation and just a great mind fuck and like psychological breakdown of John Cena.
Even if you can take it one step further, there was always that story of everybody that worked with the Fiend.
Yes.
Nobody was the same.
John Cena was never the same.
Finn Balor would turn heel.
Seth Rollins would turn heel.
Yep, he would. Roman.
True. Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah. So Cena was just a long game. It took longer to corrupt him. Now, I kind of wish that they had used that in this, in this Cena thing. Like, the fans made the connection. Lean into that.
I agree. I think with what we got, with all going through all his gimmicks, making fun of the 80s type of wrestler, what Vince McMahon wanted, Bray Wyatt calling him a bully, just hitting him with the chain was sweet. The nod back to WrestleMania 30, where he's in the same exact stance, and then he goes to swing the chair. And then this would bring us him as Eric Bischoff and Hollywood Hogan, Cena turning heel, doing the NWO shtick, and John Cena in the NWO shirt and acting like Hulk Hogan, which was great because it was still such a great image. And then he takes down Bray Wyatt, and then he's punching him, and then he's like, "Stop it! You're hurting him." You see Mercy, Mercy the Buzzard, Ramblin' Rabbit, Abby the Witch, Huskus the Pig Boy, everybody in the Firefly Funhouse, and then we get John Cena back in his normal gear, punching Huskus the Pig Boy, and then after all of that, here comes the Fiend. He gives him the mandible claw. He gives him the Sister Abigail, and then Bray Wyatt would count the 1, 2, 3 on the Fiend, and then that would be the end of John Cena. Like, his existence is gone, and then let me in, standing in the ring. And then, of course, not even the fact that this topped it, Titus O'Neil. We cut back to Titus. I don't know what I just saw. That was one of the best.
That was his legit reaction.
Like, I don't know what I just saw. This was perfect. The perfect psychological breakdown. Went through history, rewriting history. What if John Cena took this path? Breaking down John Cena's psychological. This was everything from the sequences, from the opening of just being in the Firefly Funhouse, walking through that door. This was fantastic. What were your thoughts on watching this 5 years later?
This is how
you do
a cinematic promo.
Hey, this is how you do a cinematic promo, a cinematic bout. This was.
I think a certain someone could take a page out of that book and how to do a promo.
Hey now. So that was amazing to see. I think like this whole feud was the perfect end of Bray Wyatt getting his revenge on John Cena.
And I think I know they do promo classes at the Performance Center. I would hope they show this.
Oh yeah, I think you would have to show Bray Wyatt promos to show you how to do psychology.
When I look at the psychological promos, some of the best to do it. Nick
Mercy.
Foley.
Yep, Waylon Mercy, Dan Spivey.
Dan Spivey. Jake the Snake, one of the best.
Trust
Bray
me.
Wyatt. Can you imagine Jake the Snake in his prime against Bray Wyatt?
The promos would be epic.
Like, Jake is one of those guys where, and he's even said it. If it wasn't for Warrior, he would have been WWF champion.
Yeah, and I mean, you can even include Hogan in that because Hogan did not derail his push too. So, I mean.
Is there anybody's push that Hogan didn't derail?
Billy Kidman. I'm kidding. But no.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Doesn't work for me, brother. Kidman pinned Hogan. No, he didn't. But yeah, no, it just, I think this for me topped the WrestleMania. Like, I was enjoying the show. It was solid, but then you got to this and I'm like, I'm digging this. And I know there was a lot of people that didn't like it. And I can say this, and I love Mama Lark and Papa Lark. They didn't hate it, but it was not their cup of tea because they're like, it wasn't a wrestling match. They were not like Jim Cornette, where he just took it apart and it's the worst thing ever. It killed the business. No. It's just there are people that look at that and it's like, that's not wrestling. But I'm
One
like,
of the few times where Cornette and Russo actually agreed.
yes, because they both did not like the match. That is absolutely true.
I think because it was COVID, those were strange times in our country.
Yeah, I know, but you have to make something out of something. And they did. Like, it worked perfectly, man.
They turned chicken shit into chicken salad.
And the promos leading up to it were great. They showed that at the end sequence in the battle. Like, they both worked well together. Like, it was perfect.
Cena has even said that match is one of his favorite Mania matches that he's ever done.
So this is where I ask you, because I have to say this to you with the promos and build-up. Because the fans were pissed. Like we mentioned in the last show, we wanted to see Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. But then Bill Goldberg would take the title off the Fiend. Did this kind of bring fans' expectations up when Bray Wyatt, we would go against Cena? Because I think it all was kind of forgiven because of what we got here.
I wouldn't say necessarily forgiven. It was more like a...
Okay. I could deal with this. I'm okay with this now. I'm not as angry as I was.
But I think as soon as Braun got the title, everyone's like, okay, can we just put it back on Bray now?
Which we would get later.
The next night?
Like the next night, it's like, okay, can we put it back on Bray now? And then when they went right into the Bray Wyatt feud the next night, yes, you're correct. So, oh boy, strange times. But speaking of strange times, Drew McIntyre, the winner of the Royal Rumble, would go against Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. Drew would eliminate Brock in the Rumble. Brock Lesnar would get that WWE Championship by defeating Kofi Kingston. Oh, God, poor Kofi. In a matter of seconds. This is from this reign. And then Brock is in the Royal Rumble. He didn't even defend the title like that. He was just the champion in the Royal Rumble.
Because the storyline was he was going to take the night off.
Yes, thank you. Okay, I was trying to remember what the story was. Thank you. And then, of course, Brock Lesnar and Keith Lee. Big boy. Can
you call me like you're a big son of a bitch?
Look at this big motherfucker.
And I get Brock entered at number 1.
Yep. And then he would last until Drew would come in. And then he gave him the Claymore.
And after tossing this person, that person, like.
And then Ricochet, that damn Ricochet, we give Brock Lesnar a low blow.
Aha!
Aha! And Drew McIntyre would eliminate him. Then Brock would wrestle Ricochet, and Ricochet got killed. Like, you knew when that was announced. Like, there ain't no goddamn way Ricochet is winning the title in friggin' Saudi Arabia. It ain't happening. No. I mean, he got some shots in, and then he got killed. And then Brock...
He got the paycheck.
He did. Then Brock would go into Mania with Drew. The build was great. Like, you knew Drew was going to win. And you're thinking, okay, Drew's going to win in front of people. And then, no, because of COVID. So, I mean...
Well, he did get to win a title in front of people.
For like, what, 5 minutes? And then CM Punk, that damn CM Punk would screw him. And then Damian Priest... And then Damian Priest would cash in on Drew McIntyre. Hence why we have, which is now a Sin City Street fight next week for one-on-one with Damian Priest and Drew, which is going to be really good. I'm looking
Real glass.
Cry me a river. Well, we'll get to Punk. That's going to be one of our episode seasons. That episode's coming up. So before we even get into any more, let's get into Drew and Brock. This match was really good, much like the spamming of moves with Goldberg and Bray Wyatt. Goldberg and Braun Strowman. Lesnar hits
Goldberg.
Oh, Goldberg. Lesnar would get a Claymore right off the jump for a near fall. Lesnar would hit the Germans and an F5, and McIntyre kicked out. 2 more F5s, and then a 4th F5, and then 3 Claymores, 1, 2, 3.
That was last F5. Didn't Drew kick out at 1?
Yes, you're correct. That's what I wrote. I wrote spamming of moves, F5, 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 Germans, Claymores, and then the Claymore 1, 2, 3. But yes, he kicked out at 1.
Give kudos to Paul Heyman. His facial reactions are always great.
But that's the thing. When you think of Paul Heyman, you think of those faces like, oh my God, he's going to die. My tribal chief! Like, he puts his hand in, the facial expressions, like, that's what makes Paul great.
Mania 30, the whole...
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Oh my God! You did it, Brock! You did it!
And then WrestleMania 40, Cody hit, the 2... Crossroads, and then the third one, you hear Paul Heyman screaming, "No,
No!
no!"
So good, man. But yeah, this match, for what it was what it needed to be.
Yeah.
Made Drew strong, and he would take the COVID era by storm as the champion.
Carried the company.
He carried the company during that time, yeah. And I mean, did you like this match of Drew and Brock and what it set up?
Yeah. I loved it.
He was hot, man. Like, Drew becoming the babyface after everything that happened with him and Dolph Ziggler as a team, then him becoming white hot, and the crowd were really behind him. They wanted him to see that moment.
Crowd still loves him. Like,
I mean, he came back, worked his butt off to get back in WWE 3 years prior, so this was a crowning achievement.
And then Ziggler had that team with Big Bob.
I still don't understand. Why were they called the Dirty Dogs?
I don't know.
I never understood that.
You were not a fan of Big Bob?
First of all, Big Bob.
Nobody calls you Big Bob.
Look, I love Bobby Roode. I really do, but still, like, that promo makes me laugh. And I
miss him.
I do too, but why were they the Dirty Dogs? Why were they the Dirty Dogs? I still never got.
Here's what we're gonna call you. We're gonna call you the Dirty Dogs.
The Dirty Dogs.
That's such good shit.
Yes. But yes, this main event served its purpose of what we would get going throughout the COVID era. And congrats to Drew. I know it was not in front of people, but Drew did the whole, I know you're not here, but I can see I'm doing this for all of you. That was a nice way and a nice send-off for the show. But wait, there's more.
But wait,
there's more. So the dark match of WrestleMania 36. He was confronted by the Big Show of all people. And then that led to Drew McIntyre and the Big Show for the WWE title, which was then shown on Raw the next night. Yeah. Watching that match on Raw, first and foremost, let's talk about that they did a dark match on WrestleMania and the fact that Big Show is the one who confronted him. And what were your thoughts on this? And we got what we got on the next night on Raw.
Do you remember, I think it was Keenan and Kel. I believe it was Keenan Thompson would always say, "Why?"
Yes, you're correct.
That.
So Big Show would come out out of nowhere.
Just say, the most random shit in the fucking world.
And would say, "Hey, Drew, I want to shout out the title." And then we got this match where it was just whatever. I can't even remember it. Like, I just remember, like, Big Show was in control, and then McIntyre with the quick fire up, and then the Claymore 1, 2, 3. And Drew McIntyre retained against the Big Show. Yeah. It was there. And they showed it on Raw. And I'm with Daniel Crimmins. Why? But it happened. And that was your WrestleMania 36, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe Big Show was there as like a backup in case somebody
couldn't make it or something happened.
And Vince like, "Oh, you're out of here. Get your gear on and get
But yeah, so we got that after an incredible Drew McIntyre win over Brock Lesnar, and that would be the end of Brock Lesnar's WWE title reign. Overall, WrestleMania 36, night 1 and night 2, I will say this, watching it over, and I don't watch a lot of the COVID era stuff back, like you mentioned, you blocked a lot of it out of your memory. This was not as bad as we thought it was going to be. No,
not at all. Not at all. I think it would be remembered a lot more fondly had COVID not happened and it been in Raymond James Stadium.
Yes, I agree.
Now, if you had taken all these matches, including, Braun versus Bill Goldberg. Which, if Goldberg ends up facing Randy Orton,
I know you're gonna be like, "I told you so." I doubt it.
The only way that needs to end
is RKO.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Goldberg hits the spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, and then the ref stops counting, gets pulled out of the ring by Bret Hart. And Bret just gives Goldberg the middle finger. Goldberg, gets up, goes to look at him, turns around into an RKO.
1, 2,
Another ref slides in. 1, 2, 3.
He's obsessed with Randy Orton and Goldberg. You stop that. I don't even put that into the universe. No.
But if they do it, that needs to be the finish.
Oh, dear God. So, Yes, that you son of a bitch. That
The
was
only finish of that match that I would be okay with.
so. That was WrestleMania 36 night 2. We hope you enjoyed Randy Orton and Bill Goldberg. I know what it is. Bill, you know what it is? I literally am laughing because I can imagine just like Bret Hart giving him the finger, like "fuck you, Bill." Like I can imagine that in my head, just because he hates him so much. Yeah, but no, still to this day,
I am not a Goldberg fan in the least, but even he's like, I have apologized.
I've apologized to this man
numerous times. I'm not apologizing anymore.
Yeah, like Brett, it's been 26 years. It's been 26 years.
Like how many times does Goldberg need to say, "Hey, I'm really sorry"?
It's not gonna go away. Like Brett is still Bill Goldberg. Yeah, so that was WrestleMania 36 part 2. We hope you enjoyed our look back, both parts, for episodes 4 and 5. We are almost done with season 5. Now we are going to be heading to episode 6 now, and we mentioned it a couple times in our show today. We are going to be talking about the Mae Young Classic and the Evolution pay-per-view by WWE, which took place from the Nassau Coliseum, Long Island, New York, in 2018. And we figured it'd also be very appropriate because there's talk of doing Evolution 2 over the summer. So, I mean,
it is a mystery.
Evolution is a mystery.
Oh, it's things that no one sees.
I love you, man. But yes, we will be taking a look back at the Evolution pay-per-view and the Mae Young Classics and how it led to some matches at Evolution. So, that will be episode 6. And Daniel Crimmins, before we close this thing out, where can we follow you on the social medias?
You know where to find me. Mike's going to put the link somewhere down there. And check us out. Check me out. Watch it. Watch our stuff.
Beautifully and eloquently said. Links will be in the description.
Subscribe to us!
Subscribe and watch us. We'll pay you. Now, Dan, you want to talk about the Pile Driver Pundit? What we can expect on that?
That should be coming back very soon. I'm not sure exact date. I want to make it sure it's absolutely perfect.
Okay, perfect. But I will put the link to the Pile Driver Pundit YouTube where I was on with Daniel, and Daniel does a lot of his solo stuff you can check out. I think the last show...
love my solo!
I love my solo. Now, what was the last one you did? I think it was the 2K stuff, right?
I think so, yeah. Got some good stuff.
All right. Now, if you want to follow yours truly, it's S&M Network shows on the YouTube front. Subscribe for this show, The Weekly Review with Paul and Dan, Deep to the Heart of Wrestling with Robin, Nicola, and I, On the Mic with Mike, the LFC podcast, the Steve and Mike Show, the IceNet Pod, which is hockey related. You can also check out the Pop Culture History podcast. I'll be doing some stuff there as well. And just subscribe. There's a lot of good stuff. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, SMShow1, MCL92, Larkin_92, MLarkinMB. And we will be back with episode 6, talking some ladies and the Evolution pay-per-view, which was actually, I will say this, not a bad show. And the Mae Young Classic gave us a lot of great superstars.
It was a mystery.
Gave us Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Toni Storm.
Gave us Mommy.
So we'll get into that in the next episode. So for Daniel Crimmins, my name is Mike Larkin. We appreciate you listening to our hilarity, our insanity, and our entertainment. And we'll pay you.
Subscribe to us. We'll pay you.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
We won't pay you.
We won't pay you. We'll pay you, but we'll... All right, we'll see you next time. I can't even, man. I can't even.
Yeet.
Yeet.